Ever notice how you say I'm fine when you're definitely not? Or you promise yourself you'll be productive, then scroll for 3 hours straight? Here's what nobody tells you: that's not laziness. That's not weak discipline. Your brain is running a script you didn't choose. And once you see what's actually controlling you, you can't unsee it. Most people go through life thinking they're making conscious choices. But psychology reveals something uncomfortable: about 95% of your decisions are automatic. Your emotional reactions? Programmed from childhood. That gut feeling about people? Pattern recognition from past experiences. Even your personality? A lot of it is just predictable responses you've repeated so many times they feel like who you are. But here's where it gets interesting. By the end of this video, you'll catch yourself mid-reaction. You'll pause mid-overthink. You'll notice the exact moment your brain tries to run its old scripts. I'm going to show you 3 patterns that show up every single day, and once you spot them, you'll see them everywhere. First one starts in about 30 seconds, and honestly, it might make you rethink your last 5 arguments. Core content: 3 deep dives, not 5 overviews. First, your emotions are liars. You think you know why you feel what you feel. You don't. Define: here's the uncomfortable truth: your emotions aren't giving you accurate information about reality. They're giving you information about your nervous system's interpretation of reality based on past patterns. The psychological pattern: when something happens to you right now, your brain doesn't evaluate it objectively. It runs through its archive. When did I feel this before? What happened then? And whatever happened in the past? That's the emotional response you get now, even if the situation is completely different. Example: the heart of this section. Think about the last time you completely overreacted to something small. Maybe someone forgot to text you back and your brain went, "They hate me. I did something wrong. This always happens to me." But here's what actually happened: that abandonment feeling? It wasn't about a text message. Your brain felt the same chemical pattern it learned when you were 12 and got excluded from a group chat, or when your parent forgot to pick you up once, or when a friend ghosted you junior year. Your brain doesn't know the difference between then and now. It reacts to familiar feelings, not current facts. The power move. Once you catch this pattern, everything changes. Next time you feel yourself spiraling, you can literally pause and ask, am I reacting to what's happening right now, or to a memory of what happened before? That one question? It interrupts the script. And the script only works when you don't see it running. But emotions are just the surface level. There's a pattern underneath that controls why you even get triggered in the first place. And it's running in every relationship you have right now. 2. You're recreating the same relationship over and over. Why do your relationships keep having the same problems? Different person, same pattern. Different job, same conflicts. Define: psychology calls this attachment patterns, but here's what it really means: you learned a template for relationships when you were a kid. And your brain keeps casting people to play the same roles. The pattern revealed: if your parent was unpredictable, sometimes loving, sometimes distant, your brain learned, love is something you have to chase and earn. So now? You're attracted to people who are hot and cold. Not because you like it. Because it feels familiar. Your brain thinks familiar equals safe, even when familiar equals painful. Or maybe you had a parent who was always disappointed in you. Now you date people you can never quite satisfy. Or you pick jobs where you feel like you're constantly proving yourself. Different stage, same play. The real-life moment: if you've ever said, "Why does this keep happening to me?" This is why. I watched a friend go through 3 relationships that ended the same way. She'd start dating someone emotionally available, then pick fights and push them away. See? I knew they'd leave eventually. But here's what psychology showed her: she wasn't predicting the future. She was creating it. Because her brain learned early on that people leave, so she was running a test. Will you leave too? And when they passed the test by staying, her brain panicked because it didn't fit the script. So she'd escalate until they finally left, and her brain could go, "See? I was right." That's not her being broken. That's her brain trying to stay safe using outdated software. When you spot your pattern, you can finally stop auditioning people for the same role. You can start asking, am I choosing this person because they're good for me, or because they feel familiar? Okay, but here's the pattern that affects you multiple times a day, even when you're alone. And it's the reason you keep promising yourself you'll change, but don't. Third, your brain is actively sabotaging your goals. You know what you should do. You genuinely want to do it. But when the moment comes, you don't. And then you beat yourself up for lacking discipline. The psychological truth: your brain isn't sabotaging you because you're lazy. It's sabotaging you because change represents uncertainty, and uncertainty triggers your brain's threat detection system. The same system designed to keep you alive, not successful. The pattern in action: let's say you want to start exercising. Sounds simple, right? But here's what your brain hears: new routine equals unpredictable outcome equals potential threat. Current routine equals known and safe. Even if current routine makes you unhappy, at least we know what to expect. So your brain starts generating excuses. Not logical ones, emotional ones. I'm too tired today. I'll start Monday. I don't have the right equipment. These aren't lies. They're your brain's threat detection system trying to keep you in the familiar zone. The hack: Zeigarnik effect psychology gives us a cheat code. Your brain hates unfinished tasks more than it fears new ones. So instead of "I'm going to work out for an hour," you say, "I'm just going to put on my workout clothes." That's it. That's the whole goal. Here's what happens: once you put on the clothes, your brain goes, "Well, we're already dressed. Feels weird to just sit here in gym clothes. Might as well do 5 minutes." And once you start, that Zeigarnik effect kicks in. Your brain doesn't want to leave the task unfinished. Before you know it, you've done 20 minutes because finishing feels better than stopping. You didn't rely on motivation. You didn't fight your brain. You hacked the pattern. The bigger principle: the goals you keep failing at? They're not failing because you're not trying hard enough. They're failing because you're fighting against psychological patterns instead of working with them. And here's where I need your help, because everyone's pattern is a little different. Drop a comment right now: which pattern hit hardest? Was it pattern 1, realizing your emotions are lying to you? Pattern 2, seeing yourself recreate the same relationship? Or pattern 3, watching your brain sabotage your goals? I'm genuinely curious which one you caught yourself doing while watching this. And if you've got your own example of one of these patterns showing up in your life this week, share it. Sometimes the comments section has better insights than the video. Here's what I need you to understand: you are not broken. You are not uniquely messed up. You are not the only person whose brain does this. Every single human is walking around with these patterns running in the background. The only difference between people who seem to have it together and everyone else? They've learned to spot the pattern before it runs. And now you can too. You don't have to fix everything at once. You don't have to completely reprogram your brain overnight. You just have to catch yourself once. Mid-reaction. Mid-spiral. Mid-sabotage. And think, oh, that's the pattern. That moment right there? That's where change lives. Not in being perfect. In being aware. So go into your next conversation, your next task, your next emotional moment, and just watch. See if you can spot your brain trying to run the script. Because once you see it, you can choose something different. And that choice? That's freedom. If this video made you see yourself differently even just a little bit, hit that like button. It helps more people find this. And if the idea of catching your brain running script sounds useful, subscribe. Because next video? How thoughts control behavior. Specifically, the psychology of habits, why your brain fights change, and the exact technique that makes new behaviors stick. If procrastination, self-sabotage, or that voice that says I'll start tomorrow showed up for you today, that video is exactly what you need. I'll see you there.